Well, hello everyone, and thank you again so much for joining me today. My name is Ryan. It's nice to meet you. If I haven't already met you, this video is bringing us back into the manager's trailer here at the drive-in. It's working pretty good. It's not the best, but we're definitely working with a little bit better than being hot and muggy over at the drive-in itself. Probably a little bit of an echo, but like I said, one day maybe lapel mic, all that good stuff, blah, blah, blah. And as you can see, I've got the proper colors going on today. It's because we have a feature presentation to talk about today. I'm trying to stay topical when going into a feature presentation, trying to stay a little bit topical if we can. So today for the feature presentation, we're going to be discussing Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of one Harley Quinn, one of the most talked about movies of today. And I've got the 4K edition that I had picked up from Best Buy doing curbside with a couple of other orders. It's got a really, really great glittery slip on it. I'm not a big, slip person. It doesn't matter to me for the most part, but I really do like this. I like this a lot. I like the cover art. There's no difference when it comes to the actual case. I do have to say, I do prefer the slip art on the Blu-ray edition that has Margot Robbie sort of mid-swing with the baseball bat, really manic smile. I don't know if that is a completely separate artwork, if it's sort of different when it comes to the case or not, but definitely really, really digging the glitter. It's the little things that make me happy. We are joined today by Tina Belcher. Miss Tina Belcher had a stand that I had when I had purchased this particular pop many, many years ago. And I don't know what happened to it. So there's a good chance that Tina may go the way of all things at some point, hopefully, but I'm gonna try to move around that. So without further ado, let's sort of get into today's feature presentation. So I'm gonna try to make these really, really short. It's just a short little video. I mean, we just got one flick that we're talking about here, and I don't wanna keep anybody longer than I absolutely have to. So prior to watching Birds of Prey, I had actually not seen Suicide Squad for many, many reasons. It wasn't completely, it didn't completely interest me at the time, even when it had released in theaters and then later on home video. And I actually had a copy that I had gotten. It was gifted to me probably around the time that it came out on Blu-ray, and I've had that Blu-ray copy for probably going on 4 years, and I had never watched it, especially with all the negative reviews and the overall criticism of the film. It never really made it up there on that to watch list. It always stayed at the bottom. But with Birds of Prey coming out of me actually being very interested in seeing this film, it definitely prompted me to actually go and watch it, which I did. And I'm thinking about doing a small little series on the popular movies that I've never seen, sort of that, like, you've never watched that? Sort of kind of, that was dumb. But that's the sort of thing that I'm thinking of. Because there's lots of movies, even going all the way back, at least to the 90s. It's those movies that everybody says that you should see. Everybody's got a different opinion on what they say you should see. What I say you should see is going to be different than what somebody else may say, or what just the mainstream audience would say. But there's a lot of those more mainstream movies, or those more modern classic movies, or just talked about movies that I haven't seen. So I think it'd be fun to kind of have like a stack of them and go through them really quickly as I watch them. So maybe we'll save Suicide Squad for that. There's a couple of gripes that I do have with Suicide Squad, obviously, that do share some parallel with this film. So let's sort of go into a little bit about what Birds of Prey is about for those not in the know. So Birds of Prey is directly following Suicide Squad. However, there is no reason to have seen Suicide Squad prior to Birds of Prey. You don't have to. There are 2 direct references and 1 sort of background reference. But as far as story goes, it is a completely its own independent film, but this does take place directly after Suicide Squad, where the Joker has broken up with Harley Quinn. Thankfully, Jared Leto does not make any appearances in Birds of Prey. So now Harley Quinn is now a free woman. But what that means is not only does she have to try to discover who she is now, because she's now Harley Quinn. She is not the giggling sidekick to the Joker. She is now her own person. But what that means is that she is no longer protected by the Joker. So all of the people that she has wronged, that she has hurt alongside the Joker, they're now free to come after her because there is no repercussions for them for doing so. That's sort of the big picture and the big idea behind the movie. There are a couple of other different plot points that try to that try to sort of meet in the middle, and we'll sort of go into why I don't really feel that it does a great job with that. The main villain in here is Black Mask, Roman Sionis, who is portrayed portrayed by Ewan McGregor, who I think Ewan McGregor does an amazing job as Black Mask. I really enjoy the weird fetishist, sadistic, maniacal nature of him, even though the fact that he looks like Bono throughout the entirety of the movie. But he does a really good job, I mean, as Black Mask, this crime lord who is essentially after this particular diamond from the Bertinelli crime family, one of the most wealthiest families in all of Gotham. This diamond is actually embedded with the account information of this offshore's account. And obviously that's what people would be wanting from the wealthiest family in all of Gotham, who was massacred many, many years ago. But the diamond lives on. And so that's sort of what is happening in the background while Harley Quinn is now on her own journey. And these two eventually are going to meet. The characters already do have correlation because Harley Quinn frequents Roman's nightclub. So it's not a complete... it's not like a complete 180 to try to get these two plot points to mingle. But the problem that I have overall is that it's sort of, again, one of the problems I have with Suicide Squad is that I feel that in Birds of Prey, we're putting way too much into this movie. We're putting a lot into it. And since we're putting so much into it, there's not a lot of time to go into each of the individual facets that are trying to make up the bigger picture of this film. A lot of these characters are not given a whole lot of screen time or enough time to really, in my opinion, sort of come to fruition in being an actual character instead of just being, a part of the gang, really. So, but really the main feature is Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn. We got a little bit of Harley Quinn in Suicide Squad. She's overall not in it all that much. And because of that, Margot Robbie really does not get to fully embody Harley Quinn. We get to see a little bit of it. This is the movie where she really gets to fully put all the cards on the table and really take hold as Harley Quinn. And honestly, if we did not have Margot Robbie portraying Harley Quinn in this film, then it would not be as enjoyable as it is, because I do think that it is an enjoyable movie. It is a very fun movie. But if Margot Robbie was not playing Harley Quinn, it would not have the same magic, because we're seeing Harley Quinn in a way that we haven't seen her before. We do still have the personality quirks and the charms, I guess you could say, of who Harley Quinn is that we've seen in Batman's animated series and the comic books and stuff like that. But Margot Robbie just really does an amazing job of bringing Harley Quinn to life. She really does. I mean, she was the executive producer on this film, and she pitched this film to Warner Brothers, I believe back in 2015, and the untitled Harley Quinn project was announced the same year that Suicide Squad was announced. So they were definitely, I don't know so much, I mean, obviously the studio was going to, obviously you can tell they were hoping that Suicide Squad was going to be more lucrative and popular than it was, but they definitely did sort of see the audience or were hoping to see the audience that would be demanding a Harley Quinn movie. And Margot Robbie was definitely, obviously, passionate about bringing this character to life, which, again, she does an amazing job. But so much of it is focused on her, and that's fine. We're here to see a Harley Quinn movie, but when we're putting so many different characters into it, then I guess, I mean, since we are getting a fantastic portrayal of Harley Quinn, maybe it would be nice, though, if we did have a little bit more rounded characters as opposed to just sort of, kind of set around Harley Quinn like a bunch of pops. Black Canary, Renee Montoya, the Gotham PD detective, the crossbow killer, they're not given a whole lot of depth to their character. Maybe probably Renee Montoya has the most, I suppose. Who I know that she was originally created for, I believe, the Batman animated series, but made a comic book debut before that. So she is actually a well-rounded character in the DC universe. This is actually my first exposure to her. I wasn't familiar with the character at all. Really even not all that familiar with Black Mask. He's never been seen before in a DC film, which is one thing that I do like with this, is that it wasn't the basic sort of villains or the basic sort of characters. There's really nothing basic or notable, or I mean not notable, but noticeable apart from Harley Quinn, unless somebody is really grounded in the DC universe, because this is the second R-rated DC film and the first DCEU R-rated film to come out. The first actual R-rated being, I think it was Batman Under the Red Hood, or maybe, no, not Under the Red Hood. I believe it was an animated Batman film, though, but I cannot remember the exact title. I apologize for that. So besides having too much going on, my biggest complaint is one of my biggest complaints with Suicide Squad is this movie is too long. It's too long. We're just under 2 hours, and we could have shaved off at least 15 to 20 minutes of this movie, mainly from the fight scenes, because the final fight scene, or the epic conclusion, is very fun. It's very enjoyable, but it does go on too long. It doesn't need, for what this movie is, and for what it's bringing us, it's overstaying its welcome, in my opinion. But that doesn't mean that it is not an enjoyable movie, because it very much is. Here on the release, we do have a bird's eye view mode, which I believe, I haven't watched them, is a sort of like it looks to me like it's almost like a pop-up video way of watching the film, and with a bunch of different featurettes and everything like that. The 4K release looks absolutely gorgeous, obviously. The movie looks great. It really, really does look good. But those are kind of my biggest gripes overall. You are going to see some parallels to, or some... It's sort of, I guess, maybe par for the course with the character of Harley Quinn that we're getting, but we're always going to be seeing, especially with these types of more grittier movies that do have more manic and depraved humor, we are going to be seeing some Deadpool correlations, because if it wasn't for Deadpool, we may not have gotten a movie such as this, or especially with this rating, because it was Deadpool that showed that fans were not only ready for grittier comic book characters and grittier portrayals and more realistic portrayals of who they are, but have the rating that these characters would actually need to fully take form. So because of that, there are moments where it does kind of seem a little bit Deadpool derivative, because obviously Deadpool worked very well, so why not sort of make sure that they're kind of following the same formula, I suppose. But like I said, I do think that this is a very, very fun movie. I had a great time watching it. It does overstay its welcome, and it is a little busy, but Margot Robbie does an amazing job. She is so fun to watch. Watching her portrayal of Harley Quinn is absolutely fantastic. I do highly recommend Birds of Prey. I can't really say the same for Suicide Squad, but I do highly recommend Birds of Prey. It is a lot of fun to watch. Guys, thank you so much for hanging with me real quick to try to talk about today's feature presentation of Birds of Prey. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please be sure to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button for some more additional content. Leave a comment below on your opinions on Birds of Prey. I'd be really interested to hear what everybody else had to say. If you agree with me, if you disagree with me, either way, be really happy. There are links in the comment down below to my social media and contact. Other than that, guys, again, thank you so much for sitting with me today. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.